Good morning, everyone. First, let me welcome you and thank you for joining this webinar. I will start with a little bit of, just to give you a couple of comments. So first thing to know, a recording of the webinar will be available for you, I guess, tomorrow. You will receive an email with a link to the recording. One other thing is if you have any issue while looking at this webinar, you can try to disconnect and reconnect from the link that you have. Understanding, I guess today, any organization understands the value of customer experience. Every organization, every company we work with at Genesys or Microsoft or OBS, we know that they want to improve the experience they provide to their customers. And one tool they use to do that is their contact center. But if the contact center is the front door of an organization, CX involves everyone within this organization. And most of the time, contact center agents can solve a customer problem on their own. They need support from experts in the organization, from people with other skills, from other departments in the organization. What it means is that an efficient contact center today is a contact center that allows its agent to collaborate with the whole organization. It's a contact center that is agile, and that's a contact center that makes the life of their agent easy to keep them engaged. So how do you implement such a next-gen contact center? This is what we're going to talk about in this webinar. I'm Gilles Talbot. I will be your host in this webinar, but I'm not alone. I have a couple of experts with me to talk with you today. Damien, can you introduce yourself first?
Hi, Gilles. So I'm Damien Morel. I'm part of Orange Business Services, and I'm leading a team of solution experts. You know, they are the architects that design the collaborative and customer experience solution for our customer over Europe.
And thank you, Damien. Timur?
Yes, hi, I'm Timur from Microsoft. Thank you very much for having me here. I look after strategy across modern workplace, which includes Teams and all Office 365.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. So let's start with our first topic. Like I said in the intro, customer experience involves, of course, the contact center. And quite often, those agents need assistance from outside of the contact center, from people in the organization. And the reason why they need support is because experience is the overall feeling that the customer has when he interacts with a company. Imagine that a customer calls the contact center agent is very nice, very friendly, but does not have the skills to help that customer. And when that contact center agent tries to reach the right person to help that customer, he cannot do it. It's complicated for that agent. At the end of the day, this is going to be a bad experience for the agent and a bad experience for the customer. So for contact center agent, getting access to other people in the organization is key. And it has to be done easily for the agent and the customer. And you must have no gaps on the agent side or on the customer side. One way to achieve that is to integrate your contact center technology with your collaboration tools in the organization. And actually, a study from Forrester tells us that 89% of organizations agree that such an integration can only bring positive business outcomes. So, Damien, what do you think of this topic?
I mean, I can only confirm this statement. I mean, you know, we cannot think about a silo where contact center agent handle customer relationship and then the rest of the company is doing something else. I mean, we know that customer experience, customer focus is at the heart of quite any company today. And moreover, I mean, we know that the people who are calling our contact center, our customers, or the customer of our customers, are calling the contact center with the expectation of very quick resolution. You know, they cannot wait anymore for being called back or getting an answer within 2 or 3 days. And this is where the integration with the back office collaborative tools to contact SME quite in real time, for instance, is really key for an efficient support. yes, I can only confirm this one. And also from a pure infrastructure perspective, I would say that when we discuss collaborative stack transformation with our customer, the topic of contact center, customer experience is always coming to the table. And on the opposite side, when we talk about the C6 transformation, infrastructure transformation, the collaborative stack is always part of the discussion. And we always consider both together. And you will see several examples in the incoming slide where we transform both collaborative and C6 infrastructure.
Thank you, Damien. Timo, what do you think?
Yeah, I tend to agree as well. I think that, we've seen a really large surge in, of course, non-physical interaction because of the pandemic. A lot of businesses have had to shutter their first lines or have to have limited hours. And so a lot of that customer sort of reach has fallen into digital channels. And so I think that with this increase, we've also seen a lot of agility in changes that are happening. And the only way to service customers in a timely manner to be able to provide the information that people need or the resources or help that they need is if we empower the contact center agents or your first line of contact to be able to leverage all the resources within the organization, whether it's subject matter experts or lines of businesses that have answers or information readily available or can execute on a task to potentially solve a customer problem. Collaborative tools that people use within the organization and contact center tools that people use externally should be brought together, absolutely. And that's why it's kind of useful to bring a contact center-like tool into something like a Microsoft Teams, where you have access to data, you have your document storage, you have your compliant conversations, but you also have access to communicating with the rest of the organization. So it's super important to consider bringing those two worlds together.
Yeah, true. Thank you, guys. Very interesting point of view. And I think, Damien, you have a real-life customer example for us.
Yeah, I can drive you to French insurance broker, and they used to run a kind of legacy infrastructure, voice-only, contact center, and then run a standard telephony. And a couple of years ago, they decided to transform to a full cloud solution, combining the best of breed in terms of collaborative stack and the contact center stack. And they made the selection of Microsoft Teams as well as Genesys Cloud. And thanks to this one, they have been able to further enhance the experience of contact center agents through several channels, not only voice, but I would say chat and other and email, for instance, but also integrating with Salesforce. And one of the benefits that they have been able to connect their sales agents, about 400 sales agents that were able to work remotely as well during the pandemic, So the value of this transformation was allowing to enable far more users with contact center solutions, bringing also uniform experience, They had some in-house agents, but also some BPO outsourced, I would say, agents, and also remote sales that were having the same environment for their daily contact with the customers. At the end, there is a strong benefit in terms of monitoring the sales and contact center agent, but also, I would say it used to be a cost center, this contact center solution. And now, thanks to the enabling of sales agent, this is really a profit center where you can really increase the sales of services. Yeah.
Thanks, Damien. Great example of really integrated your contact center with other employees in your organization. So we had the very interesting point of view of our speakers. What we would like to do now is hear from you, our audience. So I'm going to do that with a poll. I'm going to ask a question and offer a couple of answers. I will give you something like 30, 40 seconds to provide your answers, and then we will look at the results. So my question to you is, do you currently have your unified communication or collaboration tools integrated into your contact center environment. So you can either answer yes, we are fully integrated, we are in the process of investigating, or we have no integration. So you have 30 to 40 seconds to provide your answers, and then we'll look at the results. So results are coming in slowly. I'll give you a little bit more time. Okay, I think we'll move to the results. Come on, I'll give you 10 more seconds because we don't have a lot of answers for now. Don't be shy, come on. Okay, so what we can see is that most of you guys are in the process of investigating. So Damien, do you have any comment on this result?
Yeah, I mean, this is reflecting our project today. I mean, this integration is at the heart of quite any project. I mean, how do we interface? Who is playing the role agent? Who is back office? How for instance, back office person can handle a payment? All those kind of things we see them on a daily basis. So yes, I mean, I'm not surprised by this result.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you for your participation. So let's now move to the next topic. We are going to talk about cloud agility. We all know that because of the pandemic, agility was very necessary for any organization, right? Forrester tells us that 84% of organizations had an impact in their operation. The pandemic had an impact on their operation. And we know what that impact was, right? We know that a lot of contact centers had to move their agents from working in the office to working from home. And it's not a change that they were necessarily ready to do. And the feedback that we have from our customers is that those who already have their contact center in the cloud were able to make that transition much more easier. Some of them were able to transition to move their contact center agent from the office to working from home within 48 hours. And they did it with almost no impact on their customer service. So we can see that, yes, cloud can really help when it comes to agility. So Damien, can you comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is that at the beginning of the pandemic, we have been facing a lot of our customers looking to, of course, migrate to shift their agent to their home. We have been going through massive, I would say, capacity upgrade, network capacity, voice capacity upgrade, license capacity upgrade in a couple of days when possible. And so we have been supporting, I would say, very effectively this shift, to the home of the agent globally. So for us, it was a challenge that I assume we have covered most of the customer expectation in this area. I have seen some companies that were not part of Orange customer base that were really in a very difficult situation as well because they were running just on-prem. They were very secure concerned with anything that was outside of the premise. And I can tell you that those were one of actual difficulties, to manage this shift of their employee workforce out of the office. But more importantly, what we see today is that this request, for agility, for capacity to adapt, this capacity to scale is part of I would say most of the tender that we see, most of the RFPs that we see, ability to adapt, to innovate as well, co-innovate with the customer. They know that going through cloud, there will be this flexibility to innovate in a timely manner and run a proof of concept on a new idea. Could be enabling video, for instance, enabling some AI, turning on AI on some of their contact center in a couple of weeks, running a POC in a couple of weeks, and then scaling up to the requirement of the business, when it comes successful. So really, yes, agility, flexibility is a key today.
Yeah, you're right. And we are in a world where our customers are more and more demanding. So the need to be able to accelerate innovation, to innovate fast is something that any organization is facing, right? What do you think, Timo?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you and Damien certainly touched on the key topic that's on top of everybody's mind is to provide agility, especially in this new world of ours. There's a lot of really, really good thought that's been put into how do we scale our services, and not just scale from a elasticity perspective, but also scale from a global reach perspective as well. Whether it's large global organizations that want to service customers all around the world, or there's requirements for high availability, redundancy. The cloud just makes a lot of sense. When you think about something like Microsoft Azure, for example, it's not just about providing infrastructure or a platform as a service. We also think about how the internal capabilities of that particular platform can enhance your contact center experience, right? So in the case of Azure, for example, you could leverage things like cognitive services, which provide text-to-speech, speech-to-text, image recognition, libraries, IoT platforms, and so on, to be able to bring some of those capabilities, some of that enhanced machine learning straight into your contact center strategy in the effort to service your customers better. So cloud can benefit in many, many different ways. Agility is one, scalability is another one, but also modernizing sort of that contact center experience is a pretty important part of it as well. Whenever you're thinking about, looking at infrastructure or versus the cloud, there's always going to be some economics that are part of it. There's always going to be the technology aspect of it as well. You've got to think about what that migration will look like and how it will benefit the organization in the long run. So I think very important top of mind topic, especially as we move into this new world.
Yeah, you're right. And you mentioned migration, and that's something we at Genesys see a lot lately. We see a lot of customers thinking about or doing it, migrating their technology from on-prem to cloud. Once again, I guess our storyteller, Damien, has a great story to tell us again about cloud.
Yeah, actually, thank you. Actually, this one is an interesting one. This European leading distributor of electronic components called RS Component, was running, I would say, a legacy infrastructure, an heterogeneous infrastructure, and they were missing, the quality of the touch with their customers. This is a large company, and they operate in 32 countries or markets. They have about 500K product references and about 1 million customers to interface with. And somewhere they were looking to make the customer journey more digital. They were looking to be more friendly in it. But they were far from being there. They were just running this legacy infrastructure. And they were having a difficulty even to define the right strategy. So this is where we came on board with a consultative approach, where we started from auditing the existing, also understanding their ambition, their willingness to transform their business model, and we support them in defining their strategy. Then we went through the vendor selection, and then this is where we came to the conclusion and that Teams, Microsoft Teams and Genesys Cloud was really the best duo to support their ambition. And of course, we are now in the middle of this transformation all over the world. I would say that we handle the transformation, not only of the contact center, but also the collaborative stack, but also the infrastructure, connectivity, cybersecurity. So this means that at the end, they I would say, outsource to run this full transfer because they needed us to handle the full complexity of this change, you know. And this is where we are today with them. Thanks to this move to the cloud, they will be able to interface efficiently in any market. And also, thanks to the cloud flexibility, we'll be able to match the specific market requirement. Because one of the things that we know is that in fixed environment, one market may require some adaptation versus another, you know. Everyone is having their own way to match the local demand, and this flexibility of Genesys Cloud in this context is key. Moreover, for instance, we have recently also provided some PCI DSS payment solution, and this is quite a complex one, which is integrating the voice payment, voice over, I would say, payment voice-based to the agent in a secure manner, and we enable it globally over the world. So, hand over to you, Gilles.
Okay, another great story then. So cloud brings agility, clouds bring you the ability to innovate. So really, cloud can help an organization maximize its agility. So once again, guys, I'm going to ask you for your opinion, to ask where you are, to get your feedback. And I'm going to do that again with another poll. And again, please don't be shy and provide your answers. So my question to you is, where are you today in your cloud contact center journey? Have you not started? Are you investigating providers? Are you currently implementing? Or have you already been using cloud contact center? And I'll give you again a couple of seconds, let's say 30 to 40 seconds to provide your answers. Was a little fast. Okay. So we get back. Okay, let's keep moving. So you can still provide your answer, and it will be updated in real time. Okay, so Timur, do you have any comment on those results?
Yeah, no, I think I'm kind of expecting this as well, but also would really like to encourage. A lot of people are still starting to think about investigating and haven't started their journey. I think it is important to realize that it is a journey, right? It starts with understanding what your infrastructure looks like, what components you can move to the cloud. I think we need to do a better job of explaining a little bit about what the benefits might be. I think people mostly view the cloud as an economic change, and they also view it as more of there's a little bit of a hesitancy in terms of, especially things like contact center, because it's a critical workload for a lot of people. And so I think that there is some work for us to do on this call to sort of evangelize and explain the benefits of what the cloud may bring to this particular workload. So this is insightful for me. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're right, Timur. That's something I really share your comment, because at Genesys we work with a lot of organizations to their migration to the cloud, and most of them, a lot of them think of it just in terms of TCO, total cost of ownership, so the cost of the infrastructure from moving to premise to cloud. But it's much more than this. Beside the TCO, you have some ROI components. because by moving to the cloud, you will be able to innovate faster. You will be able to offer your customers more services, more innovative services, and you can really have some huge return on investment while moving to the cloud. But you're right, evangelizing the customers is something key. Speaking of innovation, let's move to our next topic, which will be artificial intelligence. We cannot talk about next-gen contact center without talking about AI. I guess I see more and more contact center using artificial intelligence, right? And the kind of thing that you can do with AI in the contact center is, of course, the first one that comes to mind is using bots. By using bots, an organization can handle more and more customer interactions. We know that we have more and more customer interactions coming in, and especially with the pandemic, where the customers cannot go anywhere and have to interact remotely with organization. They do it using digital channels. You have more incoming interactions, but you don't have more agents to handle those interactions. So a bot, a voice bot, a chat bot, of course, can be relevant to help handle those customer interactions. The bot can help you provide information to the customers, answer easy questions. The bot can help you collect the customer need and really understand why the customer is contacting you before handing over to a live agent. But that's not all. AI can be used to provide live assistance to agents. AI can be used to help you improve the way you do your forecasting and scheduling when you think about WFM in the contact center, for instance. So we have many examples where AI can really make a difference when it comes to the contact center. So Timo, at Microsoft, how do you use AI to support your customers?
Yeah, I think that it's so exciting to be in this space, right? Because AI really makes an impactful change. And I know a lot of people use AI as a pretty broad term. And you mentioned a couple of really great examples for AI, for example, bots, the ability to offload sort of the frequently asked questions or generally sort of providing some generic guidance. That capability to accelerate that and have instant information for your customers, that's a super important one as well. We've now seen a surge of not just chat bots, which have been around for a while, but also voice-enabled bots that use things like natural language processing to be able to understand you vocally or verbally and to be able to provide you feedback verbally as well. Because a lot of people are kind of used to this experience from a voice perspective when they look at customer contact. So it's pretty critical to do that. I think overall, like providing omni-channel support is also top of mind for people, right? And so leveraging AI to be able to not only converse with people in a text form, but also in a voice form is a pretty important one. And I mentioned earlier in the last topic around how you could leverage a cloud platform and the AI libraries and the machine learning libraries that are part of that cloud platform in Azure, for example. That's a very powerful statement, right? So AI is going to play, it plays already a very important role, but it's going to play an increasingly important role. I remember the days, I'm sure Giles and Damien, you do as well, where even getting routed to a customer agent was a nightmare. It used to take very long. And so, AI can certainly help with interactions of routing, looking at sort of customer history, customer data, dipping into CRM, and figuring out where the customer interaction routing should be. I think these are all like super powerful applications that AI can bring to enhance the customer contact experience. So I'm very happy that this is a topic that we're discussing today.
Yeah, I mean, Timo, I of course, I mean, I agree. I mean, as a technician, as a geek, I mean, I'm just excited with the potential of AI for sure. But in the meantime, I mean, we need also to make sure that somewhere the customer experience remain with a human touch, and this is maybe the most difficult things to to define what do we automate, what shall remain manual or vocal with a human voice, instead of a bot voice. And typically, if I had maybe a recommendation, it would be to start small somewhere, not so much ambition, but try to automate some basic tasks. Could be, for instance, some long legal statement, such as the one in this script, or frequently asked question as well. But be careful with not going too far. I mean, at the end, the callers are expecting to have a human touch, to have an agent in front of them to solve their issue in efficient manner. So the right balance between automation and human interaction is key. But of course, as you mentioned, AI is also a coach. It can be a coach of the agent. We see, for instance, that some of those AI solutions can, for instance, identify when the caller is stressed, is frustrated. And we can easily ring a bell, an alarm to the agent saying, guy, this person is really under stress, and maybe recommend, coach the agent to manage this difficult situation. This is one of the value of AI to both, I would say, increase a bit the productivity, but also enhance the experience of the caller by having somebody in front of them, even in difficult situation, with having I would say, the right answer, the right support. So this is really the value of AI, the right balance.
Thank you, Damien. And I'm back. So sorry for this inconvenience. I don't know what happened. I lost my connection. But I see, guys, you did a great job transitioning from one to the other without your host, which is amazing. And I guess, so I will catch up. And I know that, Damien, you have another great story to tell us about AI.
Yeah, I mean, this international tobacco company, I mean, they're facing a major challenge is the arrival of e-cigarette on the market, and they innovate with the creation of a very innovative e-cigarette model. And they had also, at the same time, shift from a distributor-oriented contact with the customer to a direct contact to support really this deployment of this e-cigarette. And it was key to them to support directly the customer. However, those customers had to, I would say, accept some legal script, confirm that they are more than 18 years old, and typically those kind of repetitive tasks that the agent have sometimes difficulty to repeat all the day. They decided to give it to a bot, a call bot, that was able to interface in 4 languages in a single country, 4 native languages. And by the way, we are able to cover bot learning in quite any language over the world, thanks to our capability in consulting in a global basis. So through this simplification, the agents were more centered around the value add, that they could provide when answering to the customer request. They also seen that very often they need to provide some support or guidance on the use of the e-cigarette. And they asked us to run a proof of concept with enabling the video with the caller. I mean, the caller could just enable video on their smartphone just to show what they were facing or what the product looks like and the issues they were facing. And this one, it improved significantly, very significantly, the time to resolution of any request that their customer had. So, I mean, in this case, we see AI being a key enabler, but also video, for instance, is a new channel that we will for sure enable more and more over the incoming years. So
thanks, Damien. So yeah, so
maybe we have lost again. Can go. I think I cannot hear you, Gilles. would recommend to go through the poll now.
Yeah, I think so. While Giles makes it back, we'd love to hear your thoughts once again through a poll. How do you think about AI as part of your organization, as part of your contact center strategy? Do you think it will make a difference in how you sort of service your customers? Do you think reducing contact volume, whether it's empowering agents to work smarter, boosting the efficiency, or just to innovate and differentiate yourself from the competition? So please let us know what your thoughts are on AI and how it affects this particular area. And I noticed you back, Giles. We're just waiting for some poll results to come in. Yeah. So, Giles, are you back with us?
I'm back. Yes, I'm back. Yep. So who wants to go and comment on those results? So, yeah, Timo, go ahead.
Timo, yeah.
So,
for me, it's really this is good information as well. Empowering agents to work smarter is definitely a great use case for AI as well. I see a lot of people interested in reducing the contact volume, which is really how it all kind of started, right? When you think about how providing even a first line to the first line was the big reason a few years ago why customers were implementing AI and bots and integrating chat functionality into their digital estates like web applications and so on. So that's kind of really interesting and telling. I think that as AI evolves and machine learning gets better, we'll be able to light up so many more use cases that'll impact this particular answer chart. I'm very, very happy to hear that working smarter for the agents is top of mind for people, because that's going to be somewhere where all the innovation is going to be driving forward as well. So these are great results, absolutely. Damien, do you have any thoughts on these results?
Yeah, I mean, I could say that this statement of getting, empowering the agent, getting them work in a smart manner is key, because this is what we see. I mean, you cannot, you discharge somewhere the agent from repetitive tasks. They don't need anymore to run some basic request. What is your ID number? What is your, I would say, location and so on. I mean, and basically this means that they can run more value-add task in front of the customer, and this means also that you need to train them more in the efficiency to handle in a better way I would say the interaction, and at the end this is leading also to the management of those agents. They cost more because you train them more, and then you need to take care of them. You need also efficient tool in terms of workforce management to make sure that they will be coached the right way. We will be able to monitor the performance the right way. So for me, there is a link between the fact that they bring more value and we manage and monitor their activity more efficiently.
Exactly, and that's a very good point, Damien. I think AI, because at some point I know that when we started talking about AI for the contact center, some people were thinking about, opposing AI and live agents. What we realize now, it's not an opposition. They have to work together. It's how do you get the best out of your live agent and your AI? You need to find the right balance between AI and live agent. It's not one or the other. It's how do you make the both work perfectly. And it's a very good transition to our next topic, which is about employee performance and how you manage it from a distance. Something that I always tell the organization I work with is that there is no good customer experience without good employee experience. And a good employee experience is one where you allow your employees, your contact center agents, to work smarter, not harder, right? And if you provide a good experience to your employees, you will have more engaged employees. And having engaged employees at the end of the day, as an organization, it will help you to drive your customer satisfaction, and it will help you to generate revenue, right? So
I think again we are losing you, Gilles. So I propose to switch to the next. Sometime we are losing your voice here. Your voice is breaking here.
Okay, so can you still hear me?
Now we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so Temo, so sorry about that. So Temo, what is your view on the employee engagement part?
No, I think this is a good topic for us to discuss as well. As we've already always heard the term, happy employees is happy customers. I think it applies here, especially if you explore some of the themes we had been talking before, agility as well as empowering customer contact agents. I think this is all coming together, right? Providing the tools to the contact center agents to be able to access the information so they don't seem helpless, they seem knowledgeable, is always going to be a powerful statement, because this is your front line for your organization, and giving them the right experience is actually going to be very, very beneficial. So bringing all of the stuff that actually we talked about together, the agility that we talked about, allowing your agents to work from home or work from remote, providing them the tools and the ability to work with subject matter experts internally, and bringing sort of the collaboration piece with something like Teams and their workspace environment together is important as well. And then also leveraging machine learning, leveraging AI to bring those tools to life, to make their jobs easier, so they're not looking at or researching mundane tasks, so that they can answer the customer queries and the advanced information requests easier. I think all of that kind of comes together in this particular topic, and I think that it's a very powerful statement to say that the more we enable our customer contact agents to do, the more loyalty we drive from our customers. I mean, there's a lot of studies that's been proponing that. So I think this is, once we evolve from where contact centers have been in the past to where we imagine them to be in the future and today in the present, this is the next step of thinking about how do we provide that really, really high, crisp customer experience.
Okay, thank you. Very great point of view. So Damien, what do you think?
I think, I can illustrate a bit the context with the next slide, the next slide, which is about the customer case. This one, the context of this one is related to, very large multinational with the computer and IT system, let's say. And we transform their contact center infrastructure in the middle of their splitting into two different entities, So it was quite a challenge for them to adapt their organization, change their organization, split, but also to manage those 12,000 agents, Can imagine the complexity of such a volume of handling such a number of agents, knowing that some of them are part of employee of the company, some others are BPOs, over more than 100 locations, and as you can see, 36 countries. So trying to provide a consistent experience, managing this workforce, efficiently. You can only do it if you have an advanced workforce monitoring solution. And for this customer, this was really a Genesys workforce engagement. More than delivering an outstanding experience for post-sales and customer experience, we have been also able to generate new functionalities such as outbound campaign, for instance. So at the end, delivering such a large workforce solution is something we are proud of at Range. And recently we also enabled, for instance, PCI DSS, again, payment compliance solution. So that's it for this one, Gilles.
Okay. That was a great story from Damien. So ask your opinion with a poll. So my question to you related to the workforce performance, how do you manage it today? So you have different options, and I'll give you 40 seconds to provide your answers, and then we'll share the results. Okay, I think we can. Okay, so I can see that we have I'm not sure we have a lot of answers, but I can see there is a fifth as a review and all done with spreadsheets, which reflects what I see with a lot of the organization I work with, and regardless of the size of the organization, right? I work with organizations of different sizes, and although everybody understands the value of employee engagement, we can see that a lot of them are still doing it, in the old-fashioned way. So with the agent supervisor review or using spreadsheets. So I think in this area there is a lot of room for improvement, and that's where I guess organizations like Genesys OBS and Microsoft can really support you in this transformation. So. Yes, Damien, can you hear me?
If you wish.
Yeah, exactly. So it's time to wrap up, and Damien, I will hand it over to you for your final words, final comments, please.
Yeah, my point here is really that we are ready to cope with your project. Through an with a consultative approach, if need be, to help you to mature your project and improve your customer experience through a digital journey. So what's key really at the end is that you improve or you digitize your full path for customer experience. So we are there for that, and you have my contact detail right in this slide.
Okay, so Teemu, what would be your final words, final comments for the audience?
Yeah, no, I think it's great to see that people are exploring this theme. I think the evolution of contact center and collaboration tools being brought together is this is the right time to think about it. This is the right time to think about how you leverage the really great value in cloud to sort of bring some of the interactions to life. Bringing omni-channel experiences to your customers. There's never been a better time given the state of the world today. So all of these things are super important, and I'm really happy to be partnering with Orange as well as with Genesys to explore some of these themes for our joint customers.
Thanks, Timo. Thanks, Damien. So I think, we know that moving from a traditional contact center to what we call a next-gen contact center. We gave you a lot of examples of what can a next-gen contact center be, what the technology allows you to do today. And we, as Genesys, Orange, and Microsoft, can bring a lot of that technology to help you transform. And that was the topic of our webinar today. I think we maybe have time for 1 or 2 questions for the Q&A. So we have a chat option in the tool. So if anybody in the audience has a question, you can send the question, and I think we'll do our best to provide an answer to that question. Okay, looks like we have no questions. So listen, with that, all I have to do, I guess, is first apologize for the technical issues that we faced. But I think we did a great job transitioning one to the other when we had the technical issues. So it was, I think we really did a good job of catching things up with the tool. But oh, seems like maybe we'll have a question. I'm waiting.
Hi, Jules. I'll just ask it. Hi, live. Hi, everyone. Thank you for a session. Okay. The quick question is, in regards, hi there. So, regards to integrate tip from both the Microsoft and from OBS on if we'll be starting the integration into Microsoft Teams, bringing the contact center, what's your #1 tip? So I don't know who would start first.
Well, I can kind of take that. I think
would you like to answer?
Yeah. So I'm assuming everybody can hear me fine. So if I can give one tip, it would be that whenever you bring tools together or you change the experience, I think end user training and adoption is super important, right? People are sometimes hesitant to change tools, and they're also very hesitant to understand the breadth of the capability that they now have. And so really walking them through and making sure that they understand what new capabilities are coming up because of this and what is going to change is really, really important. So once you do make that transition of integrating collaboration and customer contact together, I would focus some time on making sure that the adoption of the new capabilities that you're trying to offer is there, and your end users and your contact center agents are well trained to be able to leverage all the innovation and capability you're bringing to them. So that would be my tip, because I see people are challenged with that. Even once they do make this integration, the usage is low in the beginning. It ramps up eventually, but it takes some time. So that's my tip. Damien?
Yeah, I could give one. I mean, that with we have, when we run this transfer, we have 2 interfaces. One which is the central IT of the company with gathering everything, every requirement, and then we have the local market. And what I would say is, listen to your local market. Really spend time with them, understand their use case, really. Make sure that you get a clear view of their ambition and their specific requirement, because it's key to feed your design with a specific requirement. There are, I would say, several flavors for integration. Many of them are bring a lot of value. However, I mean, the quality, the result of a cloud solution is highly tied to the flavor of the implementation. So make sure that you get your ears open to them at any stage, and bring on board advanced experts who are expert in CSAT management, which is key to get successful. So this would be my view.
Okay. So for sharing your insights and expertise with us. It was great to hear from Orange and from Microsoft how you can really help create that next gen contact center. Thank you to the audience for your attention and for participating in our polls and being patient with us with the issues. And with that, I really thank you so much for your attention and wish you all a good afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it. Look forward to the partnership.
Thank you. Let's work together, yes.